So moving from outer form elements to inner form elements, let's look at this. Inner form is about dramatic tension and conflict. It's the attitude, the tone, the purpose of a story at the thematic level, and above all, it's about conflict. So we're going to look later at the nature of conflict, but for now, there are three kinds of inner form that's going to come up again and again throughout this course, and each of these is a special kind of genre framework, and when you have all three together, you have an especially powerful kind of story. So the first is reason versus passion, then there's innocence versus experience, and then body versus soul. And when we're looking at these kinds of frameworks, what we want to understand is that most movies will tend to lean on one or two of them and leave a third one behind. So comedy, coming-of-age stories, even war movies will tend to lean on, for example, innocence versus experience or body versus soul, and they'll emphasize that more than reason versus passion. Revenge plots and thrillers will tend to do that as well. Horror films will tend to focus on body versus soul issues. Drama, on the other hand, will tend to focus really heavily on reason versus passion, and crime films will lean heavily on innocence versus experience in great detail. Of course, there are no hard and fast rules here. I don't want to be dogmatic, and you may have already thought of many exceptions, but nonetheless, these are really useful tools that will help us shape our appreciation of the movies. And when a movie strikes us as particularly good, it's often because it's found a balance between these three inner forms and really shaped itself around that and brought it all out so that we feel it in our gut. And if a film doesn't feel as complete and embracing as it could have been, it's usually because it has a deficit in one of these areas or it's focused too strongly on just one of them. And trained critics and story consultants, they show a keen awareness of these inner forms and use them to guide their analysis. And some don't even consciously realize that they're doing it, but it's there. And certainly there are other inner forms and categories, but these three inner form categories, they are very powerful. They apply to all the genres, and they serve as thinking tools that will guide you as you watch movies, as you think about them at a higher level. And if you're a creative person who writes stories and works on scripts, or even if you just want to deepen your pleasure of writing and watching movies, they're very useful for you. So to look at these categories in deeper examples, I want to look at The Searchers in a bit of detail. So I'm hoping that you have watched it for your homework and that you have an understanding now of what that movie is about as we go into a short case study about it.